Show respect for the elderly and revere your God. I am the Lord. Show respect for the elderly.
This week, in our conversation about generations, whenever we want to mention people who are older, people with more experience, we're going to refer them as the elderly. For example, respect for the elderly, learn from the elderly, and so on. A gap. Let me first explain to you what is literally a gap. So this is a gap on the wall. If you have been to London, you have probably heard it on the subway because they are talking about the gap between the platform and the train. And in some stations, you'll hear this announcement.
Mind the gap.
When we are discussing generations and we use the word gap, we are talking about these differences, like when this person from this generation has to interact, for example, with this person. So this is a generation gap.
Many people don't understand the biology behind their bodies. There's a lot of misinformation out there, but the truth is that when you understand how your systems function, you're able to make better decisions. You're not as prone to fall for hype or pseudoscience.
Prone to is used when there is a high probability, a high tendency. But most of the time, especially today in our conversation, when you use the term prone to, you use it in the structure of you are not as prone to, like in the video.
You're not as prone to fall for hype or pseudoscience.
Which means there is not a lot of probability that you will do something bad. For example, you are not as prone to believe in pseudoscience. Framework. This is a car frame, the structure that sustains the car. This is a door frame, the same thing, the structure that sustains the door. And this is a picture frame, what sustains the picture. Framework is the same thing. It's the basic structure that sustains the work, that makes the work feasible, possible, the basis for that work.
To build on that legacy and our sense of purpose, I think we need a clear framework for asking questions about the future.
NIST framework is very helpful.
Like a framework or a mindset or a belief system.
Think about the internet, from a useful and entertaining tool to a framework that connects everything around us.
Across generations. This term is used when something is true for our generation today, but it was also true many years ago. And it's true for all these other generations that you see here on the board. So I was trying to think of an example. It's very difficult nowadays. Maybe typing. Typing is something that is very useful for kids today, but it was also useful for me when I was a kid, and it was also useful for my dad and my granddad. So typing is useful across generations. Outdated. This is something that people don't consider it to be from this time, from this generation in the context of our conversation. For example, this haircut is considered to be outdated. Is it?